Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ecofunomics. I am Shreya Roy, and this is lecture 9, I assume, of data analytics using Excel. I am a little under the weather, so my voice might sound a little weird. I have blocked nose and sore throat. Apart from that, belated happy Ganpati Puja, Ganesh Puja, Ganesh Chaturthi to one and all. If you can hear the background noise, it is basically because the puja and the pandal are just beside my house. So the loud noise, if you can hear, that is the background noise, is of that. So let's begin. Data analytics is a certificate course conducted by Ecofunomics LLP. Ecofunomics LLP is an international education research and data analytics company. We are serving knowledge across 156 countries, and we are registered under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, MSME, all registered under Government of India. And the book which we are using for our study is Excel 101 Basics and Beyond, written by me and my colleague Jyoti Agarwal, being edited by Ankita Singh. I think that's about it. We can proceed with our course today. Okay, so today we are going to begin with VLOOKUP. And if possible, I will take up another lecture today that will be on pivot charts. So hopefully we can complete it all today. So VLOOKUP basically stands for vertical lookup. So in a lot of times, what happens that you have two sheets in which you have to look for a data in one sheet and bring it to the other data. So, Control F, look for the thing, Control C, copy the thing, Control V, paste the thing. So this is a process for one cell or probably one column. But what if you have to hunt for individual cells in a lot of data? So under such a scenario, we basically use VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP, very importantly, you should have two sheets. So for example, if you can see, I have a list of examples over here. In other cases, what we were doing is like for and or. I'm sorry about that. So under these things, you see that the question is under one page, but here when we look for VLOOKUP, we see that there is one over here, one section of the question over here, and the second over here. So sales list and product list together comprises of one question. Employee data and department list together comprises of one question. Inventory and suppliers together comprises of another question. So for VLOOKUP command or formula to work, you should have two simultaneous sheets. It is must. Okay. So let's just begin and understand. So here, what are we doing? We have, this is an example data sheet. So we see that there is a list of product name, okay? So it comprises of fertilizers, yoga mats, power banks, diffusers, cleaners, candles, etc, etc, etc. Okay, so much more. So the product ID is given, product name is given, sales amount is given, and the question is to bring the product category. So what is a product category? For example, coffee, tea, sugar, these are all grocery items, right? So this becomes one product category. Let's call it product 001. Okay, now medicines, Dettol, Savlon, paracetamol, Vicks, Vaporups, these things, these falls under healthcare products. Bandages, these fall under the healthcare products. So let's call them, okay, assumably. This has nothing to do with what categories we have, okay? These might fall under product category 2. Now, let's say computer accessories like a mouse, a laser light, or a power bank, a pen drive. These things, these might fall under product category 3 because these are all electronic goods. Okay, so similarly, diffusers, cleaners, pillows, these might fall under home decor or the bedding section. So that might be product category 4. So similarly, the product category is listed over here. Okay, so product category is listed over here. Now, under a normal situation, a person who would not know how to do VLOOKUP would do what? So product ID is given over here and product ID is given over here. Okay, so product ID, you have to basically match the product ID and bring the product category from sheet 2 to sheet 1. Okay, so a normal person who would not know VLOOKUP would basically do, okay, product category, let's say 102. So Control C. Okay. Then go to product list. Again, select this, Control F and 102 find all. And then would copy this and bring it over here. Okay. So this is fine if you have short, small data to handle. But what if you have lakhs of data to handle? Like, for example, if you're working in a corporate place, like an office or somewhere, anywhere where you are handling a lot of data. Let's say you have, 12 standard students from LKG to 12 standard students with 4 sections in each standard. You're handling something like that. That's a huge data. So just, Control F, Control C, Control V will not help you. Under such a scenario, what we'll have to do is use a VLOOKUP formula. Okay. Now, also very important, 2 sheets should have at least 1 column with the same data. Okay. So I'm not saying identical, but similar, like product ID 101. Okay. Product ID, somewhere it should be 101. Okay. Yeah. 101. Okay. Now, product ID 102. Product ID 102. So basically, there should be identical data, even if not congruent. I mean, not mirrored image. You don't need mirrored image, but you need similar data, same data, okay, to match it. Or else you cannot match it. VLOOKUP will not work, okay? Now, let's understand how to type a VLOOKUP formula, okay? Is equal to VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP, by the way, stands for vertical lookup. So we are matching the columns and therefore we are calling it the vertical lookup. If you're doing H lookup, H means horizontal lookup. That's when you're matching the rows. Okay. So VLOOKUP, then select the cell you're looking for in the next sheet. Okay. So for me, it is A3. Okay. Then comma. Where do we have to look up? Select. See over here, I'm not typing. I am selecting. Okay, selecting the next sheet. Okay, then where do we have to look? Because there are a lot of data given over here, but my data can be found only in the first 2 column. Okay, have a look again. I am selecting the column and I'm not selecting the data. I'm selecting the column, entirely the column. Okay, now then they are saying how many columns are there? Second column, and we want to look for it in the second column. Okay. Then I would always suggest select false because that gives you an exact result, whereas true gives you an approximate result. Okay. I'm sorry, please, I'll get back to you. So we are beginning again with the whole command. Is equal to VLOOKUP. Select the product ID, comma, select the product list sheet, select the 2 columns, then give the number 2 because there are 2 columns, and in the second column is your product category, and then choose false because we want an exact match, close bracket, enter. Okay, so let me just break down the command for you. So VLOOKUP basically stands for vertical lookup. So A2 is basically the cell. So as I mentioned earlier, product ID is given over here, and similarly, product ID is again displayed over here. So our target is to find product category, product ID 101 in this sheet and 101, and beside it, whatever product category is given, we want to bring that over here in this column. Okay, so basically we are matching product ID. Always know what you are matching or else you will not get a result. Okay, so matched your product ID. Then where do we have to look for product category? In the product list sheet. So whatever your sheet name is, that is what you have to type over here. So it is always advised that you click rather than typing, because typing might give you a spelling error. So you might say that, no, my spellings are very good, I will not make an error. So fine, it can, you might be a super person, but it might happen that instead of a capital P, you have typed a small p, and that might create an error for you. Okay, so that. And then what is AB? AB is basically my 2 columns over here. So basically one column is what you're matching, and second column is what you have to copy paste. Okay, then the second is 2. Now what is this 2? Firstly, we have 2 columns, and secondly, the product category is my second column. Okay, so if there would have been 3 columns, we would do type 3. We have such a example which we'll tackle today. And false is an exact match. True means an approximate match. Okay, so I'll do once again, but I'll do it with another data sheet. Okay, let's look over here. So is equal to VLOOKUP, select the product ID. Okay, then select the sheet, then select the command, select the 2 columns, then again select 2. See, because there are again 2 columns over here, and then type false and close bracket and enter. Okay, now let's quickly try to do an error. Okay, again I am mentioning this is an error. This is an error that I'm showing you what will happen if the product ID, let's say I am looking at 118, but I will work with, let's say, this data in which there is no 118. Please take a look. 118 is over here, but I will show you what will happen if I work with the data where 118 is not there. Okay, so is equal to VLOOKUP, selecting the cell, comma, selecting the sheet, then I am selecting wrong data, typing 2, then typing false, close bracket, and enter. See, not applicable because that was an error on my part. Okay. So now let's look into one in which, okay, let's do this also, but we'll come to this later. Probably let's look in which there are 3 columns. Okay, so see over here we have 3 columns. So this is an inventory data in which the product code is given, assumably product name is given, supplier ID is given, and quantity stock is given. Now, our task is to VLOOKUP the contact details. Okay, contact info or contact details. Okay, so what do we have to do? What do we have to match? So supplier ID is given. Okay, and here also we have the supplier ID. Okay, so we'll match the supplier ID and we'll bring the contact info, which is in column 3, to our column 5 over here. Okay, let's begin and let's try. Is equal to Okay, so this is already done. Okay, is equal to VLOOKUP. What do we have to look for? We have to match our supplier ID. Okay, where do we have to match it? Supplier list. Okay. How many columns are there? We have to select the entire data. And where do we have to look for it? In the third column. And then we want an exact match, close bracket, enter. Okay, are we clear? So this is the last data for VLOOKUP that we are going to tackle in this lecture. Let's quickly do this too. So here we have this data, and in the department list, we have this data. Okay, so we see that the employer ID is given, and here, okay, so department ID is given, and we have department IDs over here. So how do we do? Is equal to VLOOKUP department ID, department list, select the data, comma, 2 columns, comma, false, because we want an exact match. Close bracket, enter. Okay. So that's about it. There are so many more practice questions in our Excel handbook. So if you want to purchase the Excel handbook, please write to us. So our contact details are contact@ecofunomics.com, and the other details are in the description below. And if you like the video, like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.